Hey guys, it's your girl Carrie. Welcome back to my channel. I've got a pointer finger here that is looking a little runty and she needs a little help. So we're going to fix her up with a little bit of a builder gel extension. So I'm going to walk you through how to do that step by step, and I will show you once we're done. She's going to be just as tall as her sisters. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then stick around. We're getting into it. Okay, so here's the plan. We're going to follow our normal builder gel process that I showed you in my builder gel overlay video, which I will have linked in the cards if you haven't seen. But to extend it, we're going to use this paper form. So again, same process. All we're doing is using the form now to help extend the length of that nail. So let me tell you how we got here. I am normally very careful with my builder gel, but this last fill, I did not obviously cap the edge of my pointer finger well enough. And so because of that, there was a tiny bit of separation there at the very tip. And at the time I was in the middle of a busy work week and I didn't really have time to fix it. So instead I just kind of filed it down a little bit until the separation was no longer there, which was a good short-term fix, but then left me with a dwarfish pointer finger. So this is a pretty rare occurrence for me, but it does sometimes happen. And when it does, it's usually on this pointer finger because I don't know if you can see here, but this one likes to grow downwards a little bit. So I think that has a lot to do with the fact that it's on my dominant hand and it is my dominant finger. It probably has something to do with how I hold my writing utensils and things like that. But because of that, I have to be a little more careful when capping that one to make sure that it doesn't do that. But the good news is I know we can get my builder gel to fix it right up. So all I've done to prepare for this extension is I have filed my existing builder gel down to a very, very thin layer, the thinnest I can get it without worrying about hitting my natural nail with my e-file. So you can see that it looks like there was a tiny bit of lifting there in that corner also, but I'm not really that worried about it because we're going to go over the top of that, and I have already removed any existing lifting that was already there. So everything that is still on the nail is still very much attached, and there was no way to get it off without either damaging the nail or soaking it off, which I just don't have the patience for, honestly. Other than that, I've just prepped my nail per usual as in that builder gel video, and I've removed the invisible cuticle, just wiped down with alcohol, and now we're ready to get started. Okay, so let me go through what you're going to need for this process. So I have my paper form here. This one in particular is from iGel Beauty, but lots of companies make them. They come in a variety of shapes, sizes, lengths, colors. So you're going to need one of those, and then you're also going to need your standard builder gel products. You're going to need your gel base. You're going to need your builder gel of choice. This one's in a bottle, but you can use a pot if you prefer. And then you're going to need your gel top coat. The top coat is optional if you're not going to use peel base, by the way. And then you're also going to need your protein bond or your primer. You're going to need some alcohol and some lint-free wipes. Your hand file, of course. And then I do also recommend an e-file. You can technically do all this with hand filing, but it is going to be time consuming. And the e-file makes it much easier and much faster in my opinion. So I've got mine fitted here with my sanding band. So the initial part of this process is going to look exactly like my builder gel overlay video. So I am just going in with my protein bond here on the nail that I am fixing, making sure to get it fully coated, especially where there's any natural nail showing, because that is the part that really needs the protein bond. Next, we're going to put down our layer of gel base. And again, you want to make sure you get everything covered because I definitely don't want to have to do this again. Once that's cured, we are ready to go in with our builder gel. So we first need to apply our form. So again, like I said, this one here is from iGel Beauty and it is in a sticker form. So these are going to come in a big roll of stickers like this one, which unless I'm really not careful, I shouldn't go through in my entire lifetime. But you're just going to take this sticker and we're going to apply it to our nail to give us the structure to put our builder gel on top of. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this center piece out, which every form should have some shape here. You're going to pull that center piece out because that is where you're going to fit your finger in. And now this little piece, you can attach it to the top portion because that will help give it a little bit more structure to help it keep more of its rounded shape. You don't have to do that. It's just something that I like to do to give a little more structure. Next, you're going to take that perforated section and you're going to pull that apart. And then I'm going to go ahead and shape my form. So I'm going to take these two flaps here at the top here, and I'm going to push them together and pinch them closed. And you can further refine this shape once you get it on your finger, but I find it easier if I go ahead and start this part now. And what we're trying to do is make like a cone shape because we want it to mimic the shape of the nail, which is not flat all the way across. Now comes the hardest part of this process. So we're going to go ahead and put this form onto our finger, and we're going to try to get it lined up as best as possible so that our extension looks natural. You need to line your form up several ways. You need to try to get it straight up and down, but you also need to make sure that it is flush with your existing nail, because if it's not, if it's pointing downward and there's space between your nail and the form, you're going to end up getting your builder gel to seep underneath, and then you're going to get a really unnatural nail that's not going to be shaped right. Honestly, looking at this video on playback, I probably should have shortened this nail a little bit more because I can still see at the tip that it's pointing downward a little bit, which definitely made it a struggle to get it flush. So I was able to get it work, and you can see the finished nail looks great. I'm just saying it would have made it a lot easier on myself if I had shortened this nail just a little bit more. Once you checked your form from all angles and you're happy with how it's fitting, you have two choices here. You can either attach these flaps here at the back of the finger closed, or you can leave them open like I have here. I find it's just easier for me if I leave them open, but that's completely up to you. My forms are sticky enough on the sides that I didn't have to worry about it falling off. But again, that's totally up to you. So now we're going to take our builder gel, and the first thing we're going to do is we're not even going to put it on the natural nail yet. We're just going to take globs of it and start piling it up on the form to make it a little bit longer than we want the finished length to be, because we need some wiggle room for filing. So this process takes a little bit because, you know, especially if you're using builder in a bottle, it's not going to pull very much product up, and you're going to need quite a bit for this part. So you're just kind of globbing it on there, and it's going to look so wrong at first, but it's just really what you need to do in order to build the structure up of that nail that you want to create. Notice that I'm getting this along the sides too, because yes, I want to extend the length, but I also need to make sure that it's extended in a natural way. So I need to make sure I have some room on the side to file to get my nice almond shape back. And once your first layer is done, we're going to do just like we did in our builder gel overlay video. We are going to turn this upside down for a few seconds. And again, that's to allow gravity to help us to get this to form an apex. Okay, so first layer is done. We're going to go back in with the second layer. We're going to do the exact same thing. Again, I'm not really worried about getting onto the natural nail yet, because here in a minute we're going to put more layers on to merge this extension and my natural nail together. But for now, I'm just trying to get a little more structure here on the part that I want to extend so that, again, I have some room for filing once I'm done. Okay, so now we're ready to go ahead and cover the entire nail with this layer. So we're going to cover the natural nail, and we're going to extend over again to the extension. That way we have a nice seamless connection between the natural nail and the extension. Remember to use that pushing motion with the brush to get down towards the cuticle area, because you don't want to have a whole bunch of bulk up there. You want it to be more towards the apex area where you have the most strength. Okay guys, I apologize here because apparently my phone stopped recording when I was pulling off the paper form. But once you get a nice thick layer merging the natural nail with the extension, you can gently slide the paper form off, and it should come off pretty easily because remember, it's only really sticking to your skin, not to your nail. But you can go ahead and take it off at this point. That'll make it easier to finish your additional layers. So you're just going to continue to build more layers until you get enough thickness with the natural nail and the extension, and you want a little extra room here because you want some room to file. So I tend to make these a little bit thicker than I normally do when I'm doing builder gel fills. That way I have plenty of room to work. So just to be clear, it took me 2 layers of the extension and then 3 layers over the top, but merging the natural nail with the extension to get enough thickness. It may take you that many layers, it may take you fewer, it may take you more. It's just going to depend on you and your nails and what you need to finish these. If you're gonna go one way or the other, I would say it'd be better to have too many layers and make it too thick than too thin, because you can always take away with your e-file. Once you've wiped your nail down with alcohol, this next step is optional, but it really is a time saver if you're feeling brave enough. I'm just taking some cuticle nippers and clipping off some of this excess here. Now again, I'm not going all the way because I still want to give myself some wiggle room for filing, but if I see a large area where I know I'm not going to keep that, I will just go ahead and clip that with my nippers and save some time with filing. But you do have to be careful when you're doing this because you can pry off that extension that you just worked so hard to build if you're not careful. So be careful with this. Use some sharp nippers, but if you're not feeling brave enough, just skip it. You just take a little longer to file, but no harm, no foul. So what do you think? Am I pretty yet? Maybe not. This is still looking a little Franken-nail, but at least we clipped away the majority of the excess that we weren't going to need, and now we can go in with our hand file and start shaping this out. Okay, so hand filing is done. The length looks pretty reasonable compared to the other one. So now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and refine the shape with my e-file. So I've created this straight edge with my hand file. I'm going to go ahead and smooth that out, and then I'm also going to work on smoothing over the top to make sure I have a nice nail that is similar to the other ones. While you watch me do some smoothing with the e-file, I do want to address something. This probably seems like a very long and drawn out process just to fix one broken nail, and maybe it is. But the reason why I prefer this method to the teabag or some other type of way of fixing a broken nail is that it's going to merge with my natural nail and it's just going to grow out with it. So I will continue to file and shape it as the rest of my nails as it grows out. And I don't have to worry about redoing it or it falling off or anything like that. So it's worth the extra time to invest in doing it right for me. And I would say the same thing if you were considering doing this process to extend the length of your nails. Yes, it's going to be a time process to get all of 5 of your nails on one hand extended to a longer length than what you have. But again, you're not going to have to worry about reapplying it or worrying about it coming off because it will just grow out with your natural nail. So just some things to think about. Looking pretty convincing, huh? So now I'm just going to take my hand file and clean up any of the edges that I see now that after I've e-filed that I would like to further refine. And then after that, we're done. So I'm pretty happy with how that's looking. So at this point, if you are not going to use peel base, you can actually go ahead with your dip mani at this point. But if you're going to use peel base, you're going to want to go ahead and apply your gel base and top coat so that you have everything smooth for your peel base. So I'm going to go ahead and do that part now. And here's our extension all finished. So pretty convincing, huh? I think it fits in really nicely with the rest of my nails. And while it was a bit time consuming, it's not hard to do. And like I said, I love that I know that's just going to grow out the rest of my nails and I won't really have to worry about it. So I'm really happy with how this turned out. And you can see the shape is nice. It fits in well with the rest of the nails. So overall, very happy. So since I'm stopping here for the day and I won't be doing a mani today, I'm going to go ahead and finish with my cuticle oils. I've got my Candy Skincare here in Sweet Orange. So there you have it. So what do you guys think? Have you guys tried builder gel extensions yet? Let me know in the comments below, and if you have any questions, make sure you leave those there too, because I'd love to help out if I can. This has definitely become my go-to method for fixing a broken nail or fixing any kind of length issues. Okay guys, so that's going to complete this video. So I hope you found it helpful. If you did, it would help me out so much if you would give me a thumbs up down below. And while you're there, if you have not subscribed yet, I hope you'll consider subscribing before you go. And other than that, guys, I will see you in the next one. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye. Look, watch this. I don't know what it is about this, but I feel horribly guilty. Charlie, go get in your crate. Mommy give you treatsy, okay? Mom's got to go to her hair appointment. Go get in your crate and I'll give you a treatsy. Come on. Let's find him a treat. So look, I tell him to get in his crate. And then look, he goes and gets in his crate himself. I don't know why, but that makes me feel horrible. Here's your treats, boy. Here you go. Mommy will be back soon. Love you, baby.